Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into something huge, something that honestly touches every single one of us: money.
It really does. And yet it's often this big confusing cloud for so many people.
Totally. And to get us started, there's this just incredible example from the sources. Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
Professional boxer.
Right, scary.
Earned over, $300 million in his career?
An unbelievable amount of money.
And then files for bankruptcy in 2003, owing $30 million.
Yeah,
Just
it's
wait.
staggering. It shows, doesn't it, that simply earning a lot, well, it doesn't guarantee anything about financial security or even understanding.
Exactly. And that's the core puzzle we want to unpack today. If people, not just athletes, but anyone can earn good money, why is there still such a struggle? I mean, look at credit card debt. It's everywhere.
It feels like something fundamental is missing in how we learn about money, or maybe how we think about it.
Yeah, like invisible weight people are carrying. So maybe, just for a second, ask yourself, what is money to you? Does it feel like it just sort of evaporates?
Or has that feeling maybe made you vulnerable, maybe made some risky get-rich-quick things sound tempting because you feel you need a magic bullet?
Right. So our mission here is to try and unravel that, the disconnect between the earning part and the keeping part, building something real.
And we're looking at a framework for understanding it all that the sources suggest isn't really taught in school,
And here's a hook for you. What if the biggest problem isn't out there, but actually like inside our own heads, our own wiring?
That's definitely part of it. But first, let's maybe redefine money itself. We usually think of it as just exchange, right? Trading.
You give me this, I give you money. Simple.
But the sources argue that's too basic.
Yeah.
A more powerful idea is seeing money as an expression of value.
Okay, unpack that a bit. Expression of value.
Yeah. Like when you buy coffee, you're saying that coffee has value equal to the money you're handing over. When you get paid, your employer sees that money as representing the value of your time, your skills, whatever you bring.
Huh. So it's not just swapping stuff. It's showing what something is worth.
Exactly. And that shift from just exchange to value expressed, it changes the perspective. It's less about this scarce thing, money, and more about what you create or provide and what you choose to consume.
So earning money isn't taking it from someone necessarily.
Not typically. It's usually about providing value that someone else wants to pay for.
Okay, that makes sense intellectually. But how does thinking money is value help someone who's constantly stressed about paying the bills?
That's where the core relationship comes in. The production versus consumption idea. Money flows in because you produced value, your job, usually.
Right.
Money flows out because you consumed value, rent, food, Netflix, whatever. Your net worth really is just a snapshot of the balance between those two things over time.
The value you produce versus the value you consume.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to Tyson, or even just regular folks earning decent money but still drowning.
Yeah.
Where's the imbalance usually? Production or consumption?
Overwhelmingly, for most people who have a reasonable income, the challenge is consumption.
Really? Not earning enough?
Not usually the primary issue, no. It's that the value they consume the spending, it consistently eats up everything they produce, sometimes more. That's the real rat race the sources talk about. It's not just having a job you might not love. It's living so close to the edge that the job becomes absolutely essential just to fund the spending or pay off the debt from past spending. Money comes in, money goes straight out.
Yeah, that feeling of just treading water. So, okay, if consumption is the big battleground for most, how do you even start to fight back? Seems overwhelming.
The first step, and this is crucial according to the sources, is just awareness. You have to know where the money is actually going.
Like tracking expenses, budget apps and stuff.
Exactly. Journaling it, categorizing it. Not judging yourself initially, just getting the data, seeing the patterns.
Which sounds simple, but can be really hard for people to actually do.
Oh, absolutely. Our brains kind of work against us here sometimes. You've got things like the ostrich effect, just avoiding bad news, not wanting to look at the bank balance. Then there's hyperbolic discounting. That immediate pleasure of buying something now feels way better than the abstract idea of saving for the future.
And the social pressure. Keeping up with the Joneses. Seeing stuff on Instagram.
Huge pressure. Consuming to signal status, even if it puts you in a hole, it makes just being aware, let alone controlling consumption, really tough.
Okay, so hurdles exist, but step one is awareness. Then what? Budgeting.
Budgeting, yeah. Consciously deciding where your money, that value you produced, is going to go. Living below your means, basically.
Yeah, right.
Trying to free up some of that value instead of consuming it all.
And building that safety net first, right? The emergency fund.
Always. That's foundational. 3 to 6 months of expenses tucked away. That breaks the immediate cycle of panic if something goes wrong.
Makes sense. And while managing consumption is key, you also mentioned the other side, production.
Right. The sources also touch on thinking about how you can bring more value to the market. Maybe that's improving skills for your job. Maybe it's starting a side project. Maybe creating something that can reach lots of people. It's the other lever you can pull.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. We've reframed money, not just exchange, but an expression of value you create.
Oh.
The main struggle for many isn't necessarily production, but keeping consumption in check. That's the real rat race driver.
Living paycheck to paycheck because spending equals or exceeds earning.
And breaking free starts with awareness, seeing where the money goes. Then budgeting, living below your means, building that emergency fund first, and tackling those mental games our brains play in the social stuff.
And eventually maybe looking at boosting the production side too for deeper dives. Things like The Millionaire Next Door or Your Money or Your Life or MJ DeMarco's work are great resources mentioned.
So thinking about this whole production versus consumption thing, maybe take a second now and consider your own situation. What jumps out at you? What might you reflect on after hearing this?
And hey, if this deep dive gave you some value today, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It helps others find it.
Definitely. And here's a final thought to chew on. If money really does represent the value you bring into the world, how could changing or enhancing the value you produce fundamentally shift your relationship with money?
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. If you want more insights like this, definitely subscribe to the channel.
Catch you next time.